Hey, Dr. Greta Anderson here. Thanks for tuning in. So glad to serve you. So today we're going to jump right in and begin talking about the golf grip. Now, I know that you've probably heard a lot of things about the grip, and the way I like to start by reminding everyone is this. The grip is our singular connection to the club, and of course, the club is what strikes the ball, but we work in concert with the club. So it is absolutely essential that we are holding the club properly, because we know that there's not much difference in terms of hand position to have the club here versus here versus here, but we also know that that can mean 10, 20 yards to the left, right, and everything in between. So it's really important that we really understand some essentials about the grip. Now, I'm sure you've heard at least a little bit about weak grip, strong grip, neutral grip, and that is important. And so for most of us, we're right here at a point where we're using a neutral grip, and maybe even a little bit stronger and maybe a little bit weaker. A lot of ladies may, particularly newer golfers, may have what we have a little bit stronger grip. So if you're a righty, that left hand's over a little bit. Today, I'm not so much focused on that because as a lot of us like to kind of say, that hand has an effect. The other day I saw a great video, Mr. Short Game, and he said he used the word influencer. That lead hand for a right-handed golfer, that would be the left hand, is an influencer, and I like that term. So for the lefty, that's going to be the right hand, but that lead hand, think of it as an influencer. We're going to spend a lot of time focused on that right hand or that trail hand today. But first, I want to get in and talk about this, which is important: grip pressure. Now, I want you to think, before I say anything else, on a scale of 1 to 10, where 1 is super loose and 10 is pretty close to a vice grip, where would you say your grip pressure lies during your golf motion? Any ideas? If you don't know, that might tell you something. And if you do know, that might tell you something else too. If it's anywhere close to the high end, it's too high. I often like to ask people to aim for a 4. I know that's a 4, maybe a 5. That sounds pretty low, but again, if we're holding on tight, how can we use the energy and the motion to have a fluid swing? We just can't. So that's number 1. But number 2 is, where in the club, where in your hand are you holding the club? Do you know? Here's the question. Do we hold the club in the fingers or the palm? Well, think of it this way. If I asked you to hold this little mini stack of $100 bills, squeeze them, hold them tight, what would you do? You'd probably engage your palm some kind of way, which would involve squeezing. Palm is support for a bunch of bones in there, right? So squeezing. And that we know, we just talked about the grip pressure being a 4, we don't want that. So we want to hold that club right along the fingers. And so for most of us, I'm going to zoom in here so you can see here. If you look at my hand and we look at our pads, this is pad number 1. That's like between the knuckle or the base of my finger and the knuckle. 2 here, and then the fingertip is 3. I would like the club to lie along these second pads. So that allows you to put the club right in there without squeezing and without fear of it falling out. Now remember, the heel pad, again, depending on whichever your dexterity is, but on that lead hand, that heel pad should provide you with some good support there. So for me, that's what that will look like for a right-handed golfer. That's what it's going to look like with that left hand. Now, I told you we're going to talk a little bit about this trail hand today. And if I was holding the golf club as a right-hander, it would be that right hand. With the trail hand, a lot of us have gotten the lead hand all set. So let's just say, again, I'm going to do this like a right-hander right now. So I've got my left hand all set. Now here's my right hand. Here's what we want to do. We want to kind of just attack it and grab it and put our hands right on it. And that makes for a flawed grip setup, which is going to lead to less than ideal impact, less than ideal distance, inconsistent contact, and a bunch of things that we really don't want. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to think about bringing the club into you instead of going after it. Again, think of it this way: receiving it. We want to place that club. So I've got my lead hand on there, I'm going to take it and put it right in there, and I'm all set to swing and go, right? Versus getting that left hand secured and just dropping that hand on it. Do you notice there's a difference in position? The difference between here and here, right? Those are big differences. And so it's kind of hard to remember that, but what I want you to do is think of it in terms of that from that, for the trail side, I want you to think about it here, and I'm going to go back to my natural lefty dexterity, so it's so much easier for me to do. So that trail side for me, that's going to be my left arm. I want you to think I've got my sleeve rolled up here because I want to show you something. When I'm receiving this club, okay, that's my right hand, my lead side, I'm going to open up my hand and my arm so much so that the crease of my elbow is open to the sky. Notice there? Now I've got the club nice secure, and I'm ready to swing and do some things right there. Nice full extension versus I'm here and I just put my hand on there. Look at that, I'm over, I'm turned. That grip's not going to work. I'm telling you, every time I'm going to chunk, going to be less than ideal contact. So I want you to think about this. We want to just kind of receive that club. It doesn't have to be super aggressive, right? We're setting up to do great things with the golf shot. Here's one way to remember it. If someone had a beautiful newborn baby and they asked you to hold it, you wouldn't just attack it and grab it. What would you do? You would receive it in your arms, and that elbow would be up. So think of it that way. We're going to receive it. I'm going to receive this club, and I'm ready to swing and do great things. So we learned a couple things here, just to recap. Grip pressure, 4, maybe 5. Second pad of the fingers and elbow crease to the sky to set up for a great grip. Now, in case you hadn't watched the previous video I'll put the link up above about the whole grip from beginning to end. If this video is adding value and helping you, please consider liking it, subscribing to the channel, and maybe even sharing with a friend. So in the comments section, let me know if you have any questions about your grip, if this tip was helpful for you, or if you have any more questions. In the meantime, get out there, hit them high, fast, and far, and see you in the next video.